Okay, thank you everyone for attending tonight's webinar on goal-getter cards. Pretty much this is the portion of the sale that takes place after initial sale. I am going to be going over the goal-getter cards, cupboard orders, consignment, booths as well. And if you have any questions, type that in the chat box and I will get to the questions at the end of the webinar. Okay, so when you received your troop cookie packet, you should have received a goal-getter card for each girl. You can also use an initial order card, and on the back of that order card, you'll see the rewards. But the goal-getter card is specifically made just for the goal-getter portion of the sale. The girls may use this card as their initial order card, similar to the initial order card where they could take orders from family and friends and record them on their cards. You as a troop leader will then collect them, and then you could also base your cupboard order on those cards. Now, to minimize trips, something you could do as a troop leader is set a date for when you could collect goal-getter cards and then place a cupboard order based on their totals. Now, here's some information about using a cupboard. Cookies must be checked out in full cases. Most cupboards are open for pickups on Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays. And then return cupboards are going to be open on Mondays. The cupboards are closed Tuesday and Mondays for inventory and restocking. But if you want more specific hours, you could check out the cupboard list in Ybody. If you can't find that cupboard list, productsales@gssem.org will send you one. But pretty much the service center cupboards, their hours are Monday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. They're pretty much open those days. And then on Saturday, they have shortened hours, 9 to 12. Every other day, they're 12 to 6. Now, before you could visit the cupboard to pick up cookies, you'll have to place a pending order. I'm going to go over how to place a pending order in Ybody if you haven't already done so in the sale. But you need to place this pending order by 10 p.m. Monday night to ensure that you can pick up the following Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. Now, this is to let the cupboard know how much cookies should be at their cupboard. So the managers will have an idea of their inventory. Like if people just show up, they really don't know how much inventory they need. So by placing your pending orders ahead of time, they know exactly what they need for the upcoming week. Now, if you didn't place an order by the deadline, oops, not sure what happened there. Now, if you didn't place an order by the deadline, you could always email productsales@gssem.org and we'll let you know if there's enough inventory for you to pick up that day. Okay, so consignment is when you're able to take the cookies and then take them back to the cupboard to return. There are some rules behind this. It's not as simple as you take some cookies and return them when you're able to. You have to return them by the Monday following your pickup. So if you picked up on Thursday, you have until the Monday coming up to return. Now, your receipt must be up to 25 cases or less. If it's any more, you won't be able to take those cookies on consignment. Even if you filled out 2 receipts stating that you had 2 different booths, it's 1 receipt per troop and it has to equal 25 cases or less. Now, you could only return at service center cupboards, but if you pick up at a volunteer cupboard, you could then go ahead and return at a service center cupboard. And there's only full cases that can be returned. Now, later on in the sale, it's up to 15 cases, but that's around March 15, I believe. So you have up until March 15 to pick up 25 cases or less for consignment. Okay, I just want to go over some things in Ybody, kind of some of the things I went over in the slides. So a lot of people are wondering about booth sites. If you notice, there's a bunch of green openings, and some of those openings might not be good enough for your troop, which is fine, but you're more than welcome to set up booths on your own. You could still do that. You still have some time to set up booths on your own. Some school functions, local grocery stores, you're more than welcome to reach out to them, putting your troop out there, and setting up booths on your own. Now, the only caveat behind that is if it's not listed in Ybody, you're welcome to set up there. Also, if it's not a big name store like Walmart, Kmart, Kroger, more stores are listed in the handbook. Besides that, you pretty much could sell anywhere. And if you have cookies that you can't return or can't transfer to another troop, it's a good idea to start setting up booths before April, the end of the sale. Now, to place a pending order, which is what you have to do before Monday, 10 p.m., you'd go to transactions and then add a transaction. Okay, for pickup, you put in, well, actually, the first thing I would do is select the cupboard that you'd like to pick up at. So if you wanted to pick up at the Clinton Township Service Center, it states the hours that you can pick up. Now, when you put up a pickup date, you have to put it between these days in time. So you wouldn't be able to put Sunday. You'd have to put like a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, or Monday during those hours. So after you put this pickup date, I'll just put anything. You will then have to put in your order in cases. No mixed cases yet. Mixed cases will take place on March 12th or 15th, I believe. And pretty much with mixed cases, you could make a full, you could take mixed boxes of cookies to make a full case. So you could take something like 8 Samoas and 4 tagalongs. But this isn't yet. We still have a couple weeks for that. So pretty much now you just put in your cases, hit OK. When you see it in green, it doesn't mean the cupboard has it yet. You have to hit save. You have to hit save for it to apply. Oops, I don't know why that popped up again. But pretty much you have to hit save to make the screen go away. Right now, this is just saying you see it. You could leave it to another tab, and it'll still be. It will not show up when I go back over there. You won't see that pending transaction because it didn't save. You have to make sure to hit save before. See, it's newer here. You have to make sure to hit save before you exit out of Ybody. So let me do that again to show you where. Then you would hit save. I don't want to hit save because this is a troops Ybody account. I don't want to assign them a case of cookies they don't want. So make sure you hit save. Also, if you're placing a cupboard order at one of the volunteer cupboards, like Alma, you have to contact the cupboard manager. You can't just put in your appointment time and show up. You have to contact the cupboard manager and make sure that they're available. And their cupboard information, hours, will be right here, and then their contact information will be right here. So make sure you're reaching out to these cupboard managers. They're volunteers. They're not open 24/7, and just make sure you're contacting them to schedule a pickup appointment. Okay. This webinar is a bit shorter. Actually, I'll go over one more thing. I think it's a good idea that you know this. Okay. Now, you have cookies to assign to girls. Once you pick up your order from a cupboard and it's no longer pending in Ybody, you could then assign the cookies to the girls. Let me go back to girl orders. I'm not sure. Okay. How do you assign the cookies to the girls? Well, down here is what you picked up from a cupboard, let's say. It's pretty much saying what you have left to assign. You then click on a girl's name, add a transaction, and the green over here will tell you is where you could assign the cookies pretty much. So you could add in the number for each type of box, each type of cookie, then hit OK. And then you'll be done assigning the cookies to the girls. You can fill out this information for yourself, you know, a good way to keep track of who owes what. But Ybody does not collect the information for council. We don't check on that information. It's pretty much for the troop leaders' discretion. Okay, let me see what else I could go over in Ybody for the end of the sale. Oh, one more thing about girl orders. A lot of people are questioning what are DOC. DOC are digital order cards. Pretty much the orders that are being placed under the girl's name in digital cookie. You do not have to pick up these cookies. They're shipped directly to the customers. You do not have to receive payment for these cookies. They're paid for online. You pretty much just could track the orders in Ybody. You don't have to do anything else. And the funds will be available for your troop at the end of the sale from digital cookie. Rewards, you could start making out a selection if it applies for the girl. You click to enter her name. and then you could start making selections now. You don't have to submit now, you could submit in April. Sales report is another thing you could take a look at now. Right over here will give you your PGA. We look at PGA selling, not registered. So if you have girls in your troop that aren't selling, they won't be included in PGA. So you could check out your PGA if you're interested in doing the concert. You'll have your true proceeds over here, what you owe council down here. It's a good idea to look at this page. Okay, I think this is what I wanted to hit on in Ybody, and I went over the slides. I know this webinar is a little bit shorter, but I just wanted to make sure I hit on those important points in Ybody. I'll open it up now for questions, and if you have a question that pops up in your head later on and you didn't get to it during this webinar, email productsales@gssem.org and we'll get that question answered for you. So I'm going to go through the questions right now. Okay, so this is the girl orders is how you account girls for what they sell at booths by adding them a transaction. By clicking on their name, adding a transaction. You could even put right over here the notes for the booth, like Little Caesars booth, and then what she sold at that booth. The sale's over on April 8th. Cupboards are going to close the day after for like returns, but no picking up cookies at that date. I'm going to stop the recording and I'll keep the webinar up for any questions, so feel free to stay on and I'll let you guys know when I'm off, and if a question comes up you could definitely type it in. So I'm going to stop the recording.